Isn't she lovely? Bruh, if I could sing, it would be game over. Yo, what's good? It's boy, Thando Mbhele, and welcome back to another episode of Filmmaker Fridays. Today, I am going to be deep diving into a scene from a show that I've been super obsessed with, Succession on HBO. I love the show because it has some really good editing, a really interesting cinematography style. So I thought I would just dig deeper into it and show you guys how I learn from the editing of TV shows. Obviously, these things are layered. I look at things such as the writing, the cinematography, and then obviously how the editing adds to that. Before we get into the scene, let me just explain the background of where we're at. I'll try not to spoil the show. We are in season 2 of the show, and the basic premise of the show is that this family, the Roys, owns a huge media empire, and obviously Logan Roy, who's the father, has these kids involved in the business, and they're all sort of trying to be the successor. And so his second son has already tried to kind of take over the company, but he failed. His dad has forgiven him, and he's back in his dad's good books. But this scene specifically takes place because the Roys are looking to buy another company that kind of does news and stuff, I think, and the family that owns that company isn't really keen on selling it, and so sort of playing this cat and mouse game. And so eventually I think it's the Pierces, they decide, okay, we want to get to know you guys, so pull up to our island in your helicopters. Guys, this show has made me feel so broke. With your helicopters, we're gonna have dinner and get to know you guys. Meanwhile, there's beef brewing in the family because the second son tried to take over the company, remember? So there's a little bit of beef between everyone, and so that's kind of where the scene is at. And it's perfectly said because there's already tension, but they're trying to hide the tension because obviously they've got to look like this well put together family. And so that's where this scene comes in. I've thrown the project into Premiere and taken the liberty to add cuts down here just so you guys can actually see the different cuts throughout the scene. Alright, so we open up with an establishing shot, kind of letting us know what the room looks like. We know where everyone's sitting, and we get a certain vibe, if you will, of the situation.
They're trying to adopt, the list is insane.
Marsha, so tell me, you grew up in Beirut. What was that like?
Marsha is Logan's second wife. They've already had some tension brewing. Mind you, the family just had a whole meeting in another room talking about how they're going to keep cool during the dinner.
Well, she doesn't really like to talk about it.
Or you don't like to ask about it?
Well, when we first met, the first or second night,
these reaction shots are very important because imagine going from Marsha drinking it and Logan just continuing to talk, but it adds context. When we switch over to when we cut to this lady, it's her reaction going, oh, this is interesting. The mask is falling off, so she's kind of delighted to see, oh, there's tension here, and we see what she does next here.
First met, the first or second night, we stayed up all night. She told me her whole life story.
If I have a year, I couldn't tell you my whole life.
Fine.
Interesting. Another glass for both of you?
As a family, they decided that each person is going to have 2 drinks. So what Marsha does here is very interesting.
Oh, no, we tend to kind of keep it
Yes, thank you.
Excuse me?
His cellar is all new world, and it doesn't suit me.
Why didn't you say?
It suits you, so it can suit me. See, I'm not a difficult person.
Well, as long as the fat is being chewed, I suppose I would be remiss not to mention that you're being targeted for acquisition yourself.
So this is what we called an inciting incident, the action that sets the scene in motion. If say this was a car, this would be the starting of the engine. So she kind of takes one jab at Logan because his company is being acquired by another company, which, more background, Kendall, his second son, was actually a part of. He was a part of trying to acquire his dad's company so that he could be CEO. But Logan gets to him and he ends up leaving that and coming back to the family business. That question is kind of a jab at Logan's pride.
Correct?
Oh, that. Well, that's, that's all over, more or less.
Yeah, Sandy's
We pan to Kendall, get his reaction.
not well. Syphilis, if you can believe it.
Cut to their daughter, who's Logan has promised her the position of CEO. Anyone who watches the show knows that anything Logan says, it's kind of a 50-50 on whether you can trust him or not.
I never believed that the takeover bid was real to begin with.
A Potemkin pillage.
Oh, look, I have to ask. The internal differences, have they been smoothed over?
Oh.
She's referring to the beef between Logan and Kendall.
Very much so.
We cut to Shiv for her reaction. She's kind of like, BS.
And any thought given to whom you might hand over the keys?
Why, madam, that is very forward.
And you're no fun. We're all friends here now, aren't we?
Watch how quick these cuts go, because it shows kind of like the panic that's in the family, because no one knows what Logan's thinking about who's going to be the next CEO. These little quick cuts showing people's reactions kind of also has us on the edge of our seats, like, well, who is it?
Why, madam, that is very forward.
And you're no fun. We're all friends here now, aren't we?
Well,
Cut to a wide to kind of let the scene breathe.
Jerry is on the
Back into
paperwork
close-ups.
as a stopgap, but even she'd be the first to admit that she couldn't really do the job.
Well, maybe the second to admit.
There is a name.
Also, I like how this scene is filmed handheld, and every time they want to emphasize something, there's like a little zoom.
But I really don't like to deal in hypotheticals.
He's an enigma.
Well, one day.
See that into Shiv, like Shiv knows something, and I like what they do here. So far the scene has been shot handheld, but then for this one shot, they change it into a dolly, and it kind of like pushes in on Shiv, and signifying, oh, like there's something she knows or she wants to say, but like that stillness kind of like takes us into Shiv's head, and what is she thinking? What is she about to say? And as they slowly zoom in, it builds the tension, and we're like, oh, it could be anything.
A tease, folks.
Just whisper it in my ear.
I'll start to think I'm not wanted.
So Shiv is also having a moment where she's kind of realizing that, oh wait, was I being punked?
You can.
Well,
Oh, for sake, Dad, just tell him it's gonna be me.
Boom, midpoint of the scene. The midpoint is the point in the story arc where everything turns around. Everything may have been going well up until this point, and this is where everything goes downhill. In a story arc, the midpoint is the point where everything changes for the character.
Is that so?
That is so.
Watch how fast the pacing is at this part of the scene, which I think is very interesting, because I personally would have stuck with long, awkward shots, like staying on close-ups longer to kind of emphasize the awkwardness of the scene. But I feel like this also works too, just like quickly cutting to people's reactions, like what the heck, wait, where's this coming from? And so it makes us feel like we're at the table going,
Roman, what's happening?
My life just ended?
it's been discussed, but I don't think we're quite at the point where...
music starts fading in.
No, not anytime soon. We've discussed the transition and some arrangements.
We won't bore you.
No, but I thought we could tell you. All, though, as friends.
Yeah. Maybe this dinner was a little bit premature. Seems like you guys are still working some things out.
No, Peter, don't worry. This is just family hijinks as usual. We're good.
Is that true?
Will you stop?
So up until this point, Logan has remained calm as a character. But watch what happens here.
Is that true?
Will you stop?
Well,
dude, the way they use reaction shots here. Oh my word.
Anyway, I was just thinking it is such a beautiful, clear night out. Mark?
The cuts slow down now.
Mark,
I said, huh?
would you like to guide us on a little after-dinner stargaze?
Stargaze. I would love to show you our little corner of the sky.
Marvelous. Boots for everyone, not to worry.
Another thing that's very interesting here is how the editor continues to use close-ups of everyone's reaction as they get up instead of cutting to a wide, which is something I would have done because of what I've learned. I like that he stays on close-ups of everyone as they get up, kind of getting their reaction to the situation. Also, a very interesting thing about this shot is that this woman is actually a part of the Pierce family, but she's kind of messing around with Kendall.
Did you know?
No. No, I did not know.
That right there is Tom, Shiv's husband, and he also didn't know about this. Cut to a wide and it's just Shiv and her dad alone. This shot kind of creates a bit of tension because like we don't know what's gonna happen next. Is he going to shout at her? Are they gonna talk about it? We don't know what's about to happen.
Shall we?
Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of Filmmaker Friday. Let me know what other scenes you want me to kind of study and dissect and look into and share my opinion on. And of course, if it is your first time here on my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification button so that you know whenever I drop a brand new video. Otherwise, hit that like button. It really does help in letting me know what stuff you guys like, I guess. And I'll see you next week with another episode of Filmmaker Friday.